Okay. All right. The previous suspension of the meeting is now over. Before we resume debate, we have a crisis update and some breaking news that I'd like to give the floor to.
Can you all hear me? All right. Good afternoon. My name is Yiva Johansson. I'm the Commissioner of Migration and Home Affairs for the European Commission. We are a subdivision for you guys. Just giving you relaying details and information. So right now we've just gotten several reports. This is an update that Eastern European nations, including Greece, specifically Latvia and Hungary, but now including Greece, have grown angry over intra-European migration from their countries towards Western nations such as France and Germany, which has led to increased brain drain and other problems, which they attribute to Eastern European tensions and racial tensions over how Western Europeans concede, or how Western Europeans look over at Eastern Europeans. Most local governments and national governments, including Latvia and Greece, have gone together to increase stricter local national laws. So right now, the Greece Parliament are meeting right now, and they're demanding that they're demanding that the European Commission look at this crisis, and they demand that there are stricter laws regarding intra-European migration regarding employment. I'll be taking 4 questions. Please do the raise hand motion. Netherlands.
Thank you. So Latvia, Hungary, and Greece are angry at intra-country migration. They're angry that their own citizens are leaving, or what specifically is angering these countries?
So right now, because of European laws and whatnot, many of their migrants, or many of their own citizens are moving towards Western nations, and so they're angry that the European Commission hasn't taken their issues seriously enough. So while it may be their own people that are moving, they still want tighter restrictions so that their nations aren't affected. Finland.
Thank you. Do we know what specific employment sectors are being heavily impacted more so than others?
The technology and technology sector is the most affected right now, which is causing problems because right now those nations are in dire need of better infrastructure for technology, computer science, computer engineering, and most of those jobs are just simply more prospective in Western Europe. But Eastern European nations, because of that, are suffering, and they're demanding that the European Commission take actions to maybe to either support or to change migration laws regarding employment specifically.
Hold on, I gotta.
Are there any other questions?
Okay, there we go. You can hear me now? Victoria?
Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. It's just really quiet on my end. But I think that's my computer. So are you able to do you know where Vicky is? Let me see.
She saw this. I can text her and have her come
Okay, here I'm gonna send it on Discord. Let's see if she figures it out that way. Because this is part of what we're going to need to do is to keep people apprised of what's going on.
It's kind of weird because I hear.
Right. So one of the things you can do is mute Zoom so you can't hear him.
Okay. With that, are there any points of motions on the floor at this time? So, please.
Yeah. You guys have to mute your speakers on your mic on your computer.
That's the problem.
Why?
I'm trying to figure out how to mute Zoom because I'm muted and my video is off, but I can still hear everything that's going on. So I'm trying to work with the volume.
Okay.
Is there a way to change it? How do you do it?
To change what?
Like, so I can't hear to deafen myself. There's no way to deafen yourself in Zoom, is there?
I just shut off the speaker on my laptop itself, but I'm using two devices.
Okay, so for the future, use two devices.
Yeah, I always use two devices. Victoria, how are you getting that accomplished?
I'm all on one device right now. I have Zoom and Discord open at the same time, and I can't speak unless I have headphones in because that's where my microphone is. So I have your voice coming in and Rose's at the same time.
So we need to use two different devices, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the only way.
Okay.
If there's another way to do it, I don't know.
Okay, I am going to use Discord on my phone.
I think
Here. So give me a minute. I'll be back.
Okay. And then Victoria, do you have the ability to do that as well?
Yes, I can try switching from taking Zoom off of this and putting it on my desktop, but it's going to take me a minute to get it set.
Can you? I don't know what this is. What device are you on right now?
Oh, right. I'm on a laptop right now, but I have access to a desktop. So I'm going to see if I can put Zoom on a desktop and keep Discord on my laptop so I can then mute Zoom.
Oh, you know what just occurred to me too? I may have an internal mic that's recording this whole conversation. Okay, go ahead and try that. Hold on. Vicky, I just realized that on my computer, as I'm sitting here and talking to you, it may be recording my voice right now.
Okay, so let's not talk.
We are now in a 5-minute moderated caucus with a 30-second speaking time to address the recent crisis update. The Czech Republic, because this was your motion, would you like to speak first or last?
Last, please.
Thank you, Delegate. Okay, and with that, we will now be taking the first few speakers in this moderated caucus. All those wishing to be added, please raise your hands now. Ireland, the Netherlands, and Finland. Those are all the speakers we will be taking for now. And with that, Ireland, you now have the floor for 30 seconds.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you guys hear? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you both.
Okay, good.
I got Zoom to run on a desktop, and so I now can only hear you guys, not two people at once.
So that's definitely what we're going to need to do. I can see that Vicky has herself deafened, so she's not able to hear anything. That's just my concern. It's like how are we going to be able to communicate with one another? How are we going to be able to communicate with one another if need be?
Well, the second I separated Zoom and Discord onto two different devices, I didn't have a problem. So if she's able to separate Discord onto her phone, that might help a lot.
Right. I didn't know. I thought that that's what she was doing all along. So.
Yeah, I thought that too. I wasn't aware that that's not what she wasn't doing.
So the other thing that happens is on my computer, I'm using my old laptop for this, and sometimes it just I can't get any. My cursor just freezes.
Oh, yeah. I'm not a tech person. I don't know how to fix any of these problems.
But you can still see what's going on in committee.
I have everything pulled up, and I have the volume on just really low.
Right.
I don't know when people are making changes or if there's like lulls in computer or anything.
Oh, I could do the same thing.
Ireland, you now have the floor for 30 seconds.
That's a really good idea.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and fellow delegates. Now, Ireland agrees with Finland. We cannot have border restrictions upon our own members of this parliament. So we disagree with Germany in the sense that each individual nation in this body should have some sort of border restrictions of accepting jobs and different immigrants. Right now in Northern Ireland, this is the major problem for the Irish people, of restricting borders. We must have open borders between our fellow states, and we would love to discuss more further plans to do so in the unmoderated caucus. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. We will now be taking the next three speakers in this moderated caucus. All those wishing to speak, please raise your hands now.
And I'm recording this.
Sweden.
I'm recording this through.
Just a reminder, delegates.
I'm recording this through my my new laptop. But the sound is coming in through my headphones, so I'm not sure. It'll be interesting to see. I don't know how much we're actually recording or not. So we'll find out.
You can record through Zoom. So, like, Mariani will record our lectures, but it gives a notification at the beginning. It says this meeting is being recorded, and then at the end it says the recording has stopped or something like that.
Right.
So you said you had it notified me, so I figured you weren't going through Zoom and you were doing it outside.
Yeah, there's another program. There's another program. Hey, Vicky, did you figure it out?
Oh, yeah, I figured it out. That was weird.
What was going on?
So basically, someone deafened me in my settings. Because I was working before because I was talking to Colin. In my settings, it wasn't just like deafened, you couldn't use deafened on the bottom bar there. No, it was like I had to go into my settings to turn it back on. It was weird.
Well, that's really weird.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I missed what you guys were saying.
No, we were just speculating as to what was going on with you. And I don't know what's gonna happen with this recording, which is fine with me. It's just going to be whether or not my internal mic on my computer is going to be picking up me talking. But I think it won't, because it said that there were two programs using my microphone, Zoom and Discord, and I have my headset off. So I think that'll be fine, just for the recording, because I know you were worried about the recording. She's gonna drop. Yeah. I don't know, like, is she getting dropped out? Because I think what we need to do is, like, on Saturday morning, like, with her being dead, I think we need to come up with, like, before a plane takes off, they do a checklist, right? And they just make sure that everybody's connected and all. That I think we need to make sure that in the morning we can all communicate with one another.
I just go like a quick run through. Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Right.
Are you seeing my messages? What aren't you seeing?
Yeah. See, so what would be interesting to do, and then the problem for me, I think I'm just gonna have to get another electronic mouse because my electronic mouses, whatever, never first on me, but my pad does.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I may need to just get a second electronic mouse. But one of the things I was thinking we could do that would be good if I had any kind of mobility, maybe I'll turn off, disconnect, and come back in. Would be to move from here, and then once they go into an unmod, click into again, click into the unmods, listen to them, and see if we can click our way back to here and make sure we can get through them. Because part of what I want us to do is to be able to monitor who's in each of the committees, make sure nothing bad is going on. I think for me, it's mostly going to be a security, not taking notes on which delegates are doing well or not doing well. Hey, Vicky, Vicky, are you back?
Hello?
Yeah, what happened?
Okay, so I feel like we really need to emphasize that people need to contact the host rapporteur and not me. Because I'm getting messages like from 5 people about 5 different things going on. And it's sad that for the sake of the simulation, I'm helping with the class, but like, they really don't need to tell me. So Brandon's dog ran out of the house and got lost. He called me. China doesn't know what intra-migration was, so I had to explain that to her.
See, this is exactly what we don't want this to happen at the conference. Like, they know what all the functions are. It's just, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be private. Yeah, no, I know you get this, but like the idea is we're doing an actual simulation. So fucking simulate. Do what you're supposed to do. And unless you, yeah, go ahead.
And that was my thing. It was like, don't, like, I understand why you need to contact me because, like, I kind of, want to know what's going on in class. But, like, first contact the person that you need to contact and then contact me.
Right.
I don't think people are getting that. I had to tell Ben in the group chat. He was like, I can't make something about the internet was not working. I'm like, tell the host. Brandon, you need to tell the host. Shannon, you need to ask the rapporteur. Like, people need to understand the purpose of having these people there. They can't. I appreciate they reach out to me because if they trust me, it's great. But
okay, when you dropped out of the voice channel, was that because you were just getting bombarded with messages? Pardon?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
right now, Brandon called and then Shannon was texting, so there's a lot.
Do you think it would be helpful to have sort of like a statement go out to schools to say, hey, this is the role of our Secretary General. Please do not contact her with these issues. Go through a chain of command. You talk to this person first. If they're not responding, you can then go to this person, and then so on and so forth.
They should, they shouldn't even have the ability to contact the section.
Okay. I think the problem is that with this, like, everyone knows that's in class. So obviously their first instinct is to talk to the person that, both of Vicky and Phil are organizing it, so I'm going to text them about it. I understand maybe this is just applicable to class, but my thing is, I don't think this is going to happen in a simulation, because I'm not going to, in most simulations, not in the different committee rooms, but I think we are simulating, and we're trying to simulate the to the best of our ability, and therefore we can stick through.
Right, and they should. Okay, and they shouldn't. They wouldn't be able to contact you anyways. The setting. Yeah, the delegates wouldn't be able to because they'd be very limited in the channels that they can use. One of the you guys, they're in an unmod right now. So why don't you guys go click into the unmod? I'm gonna try and turn this laptop off and turn it back on and see if I can get my mouse to be able to move. But they're in an unmod, but will one of you take a note and tell Rosa that even if they're in an unmod, people can see her. So if she's sitting there taking drinks and laughing and the whole thing, hopefully that's not a good look. You might just want to turn off her video.
Yeah, I'll let her.
Yeah, please. Like, I'm glad she's having a good time, but probably not the. You know what? Actually, I can let her know through the chat. Oh no, because see, every time I click on the chat, this is what I'm recording. So fuck. Okay, never mind. Somebody else let her know, and I'm going to turn off my computer and try and turn it back on again.
I'll let her know. I'll text her.
Okay, and then if you guys could go into the unmods, see how, go in, check how things are going, and then come back out.
Please feel free to put yourself on as a sponsor and modify things.
Okay.
Let me see. I was going to modify this with brochure detailing.
Well, yeah, and this is something we discussed with Finland and with you in the last unmod, which is online infrastructure expansion. So things like paperwork and visas, they're going to be going through an online platform because that benefits us both with COVID-19 going on and benefits in the long run just having a stronger technological infrastructure in place.
Yeah, Delegate, these are all excellent ideas. We probably should start working on the doc. I think everyone should have access to it.
Yes.
We are starting to run a little bit slow on time, and it seems like ideas that are just starting to solidify might be good. Get that kind of hashed out on paper.
Yeah. Sounds good with me. I can, Netherlands can focus on incentives. If you guys want to pick, we can pick one topic each. Maybe someone focuses on the technology in Czech Republic, you focus on the immigration.
And I think if France believes that if migration continues, this crisis could really get out of hand in Europe. And what instead we should do is, instead of letting in as many...
Okay, so what do you guys think about how we respond to the current crisis? I was just thinking we can still do the status quo of trying to keep the open borders, but we add in the limitations based on, testing as part of the, process for when we accept or deny them, and then we determine based on the acceptance or the denial who pays for their care and whether they're sent home, obviously. So What do you guys think about that? Should we have anything in addition to?
So far your limitations are just for if they have tested positive correctly?
Yes.
Okay.
Would you find countries would want to start a working paper in tightening border access in between countries here in the EU?
I'm sorry, Delegate, can you repeat that? I couldn't really hear you.
My apologies. I hope it wasn't because of the animal in my room. Since we all echo each other's sentiments of tightening borders across the EU, would you all like to work on a paper together addressing that issue?
One minute remaining, Delegate.
Marissa, can you hear me? Marissa, can you hear me? Sebastian, can you hear me?
All right, delegates, that exhausts the unmoderated caucus. Please return to the Zoom and the General Assembly.
Sebastian, if you can hear me, have everybody give you a thumbs up to let you know that they're back in the room.
Can everyone just give us a thumbs up so we know everybody's present? Make it quicker for everyone. Almost everybody.
Okay, so as everyone's coming back, I just wanted to make a note that if you guys could please periodically check whatever device you're using Zoom on, just to keep track of the timer. We are sending announcements as well, so please try and come back to formal session as quickly as possible so we don't have this kind of downtime. So it looks like almost everyone is back, and with that, we'll go ahead and resume formal session. Are there any points or motions on the floor at this time? If so, please raise your hands now. Czech Republic, to what point do you rise?
Thank you, Honorable Chair and fellow delegates. I'm the Czech Republic moves for a 10-minute moderated caucus, 45-second speaking time on what we have been working on in the last on mod.
Thank you, Delegate. Also, just a reminder to delegates, if you do feel as though you need more time in the unmoderated caucus, you can always motion for a half extension. Are there any other points or motions on the floor at this time? If so, please raise your hands now. The Netherlands, to what point do you rise?
Thank you, Honourable Chair and fellow delegates. The Netherlands moves for a 5-minute moderated caucus with a 30-second speaking time on the topic of finding a more moderate solution to the immigration crisis.
Thank you, Delegate. That motion is in order. If there are any other points or motions on the floor at this time, please raise your hands now. Germany, to what point do you rise?
Thank you, Honorable Chair and fellow delegates. Germany moves to extend the unmoderated caucus by half.
Thank you, Delegate. That motion is in order. We will now be voting on these motions in the order of most to least disruptive, beginning with Germany's motion to extend the previous unmoderated caucus by half. Please vote simultaneously now. With a vote of 6-3, this motion passes. You are now in a moderated caucus extended by half, so 5 minutes. And Sebastian, if you could set the timer for 5 minutes.
For sure.